Yo, guys, I hope you're well. So, guys, I've been saying for a very long time that our economy has flatlined and there are no jobs. Well, guys, it's not just here in the UK, but all around the world. And, guys, it hasn't come by accident, not at all. I was told back in 2017 that this was likely to happen. And it's all because they now have a new target operator model. And AI is the force that is helping them to create this new target operator model. And I'm just going to say to each and every one of you, if you think your job is safe, please think again. Think again. So guys, I'm going to try and interweave a couple of conversations that I've checked out on the internet just to give you a bit of a heads up on what's going on. So 2, 3 weeks ago, I think Amazon laid off 14,000 staff at white collar and C-suite level. And that is just the beginning. It's not going to get any less. It's going to increase. But first of all, I just want to play this clip, and I can't remember this guy's name, so I do apologize. But this is on the Financial Review. And this person, he's the CEO. Is his name Tim something? I'm not sure, so apologies on that. But he is telling you the real kicker behind what is going on, with these job losses, AI, and everything else. And guys, please take notice.
We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40, 50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. There's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them. It's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment.
So guys, I'm going to play that again just so it sinks in. So this guy is Tim Gurner. He's the CEO of Gurner Group. And this was actually recorded back in September, 2 years ago of 2023. Remember, I was told what was going on with automation, what was going on with the robotics, automation, the beginnings of AI back in 2016. It wasn't 2017, it was back in 2016, 2017. So this has been on the agenda and it's been on the horizon for quite a long time. So this guy, Tim Gurner, is going to tell you exactly what is on the mindset of the employer, not the employee. Remember, this guy is CEO of Gurner Group. He's telling you what employers are thinking. So you're an employee, you're thinking about your loyalty and everything to the employer. Well, we always think loyalty runs both ways. Well, not when it comes to love nor money. Let's get it.
We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40, 50% in my...
You hear that? We need to see unemployment rise. It must jump 40 to 50%.
View. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer.
And he wants to have pain in the economy to remind people like you and I that we work for our employer.
Not the other way around. There's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them. It's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment.
The governments of the world are trying to increase unemployment. So here in the UK, you keep hearing people like Keir Starmer, Rachel Reeves saying they're creating jobs. They're not. They're absolutely doing the opposite. I keep telling people it's a topsy-turvy world. So whilst they're absolutely slashing the amounts of jobs that are in the economy, they're telling us that everything is rosy and that more and more jobs are being created, where it absolutely is the exact opposite. So I just wanted to just check out this person as well. Apologies again, I don't know his name, but he is talking about the implications and what's going on with AI. So I think this is quite an interesting thing for us to check out. And I'm going to see if I can do it now. and he represents Forbes. His name's Spencer Hakimian. I think that's his name, Spencer Hakimian. But just check him out and just see if this is something that you can relate to, and just to hear a bit more about what AI is doing to the workforce.
AI is an existential event, an existential risk to white-collar work across the United States and the world. For the first time in history, white-collar jobs are legitimately at risk of being permanently removed from.
So he's saying that white-collar jobs, first time, are legitimately at risk of being removed from the workforce. I was told this back in 2016, 2017. I was in the gym working out boxing, and I met this guy. Like, he was chatting to me because he saw me boxing, he wanted me to train him, etc., etc. And he told me back in 2016, in one of the industry that I was in, that it was probably going to lose 300,000 workers within the next 7 to 8 years. And I was thinking, no, that can't be true. But well, it seems that my man knows more than other people. And yeah, I remember that day like it was yesterday, and it's all coming to fruition now, isn't it? I'm just going to wheel this back a little bit, guys.
Event, an existential risk to white-collar work across the United States and the world. For the first time in history, white-collar jobs are legitimately at risk of being permanently removed from the economy. I'm not trying to exaggerate. There are thousands of jobs that honestly are no longer economically viable. They're just not. Who did Amazon lay off today? Think about it. They didn't fire people that were stocking shelves or that were truck delivery drivers. They fired C-suite corporate white-collar jobs, accountants, analysts, auditors, consultants. That's who Amazon is letting go starting tonight.
Accountants, analysts, consultants, auditors. So this chap's talking about the USA, but it's also going on here in the UK. Remember, I've kept telling people for the last so many months on a lot of my posts, etc., that the jobs are disappearing, and they're not disappearing just from the bottom of the pile. They're disappearing from the middle and the top as well. And to be honest with you, they are being devastated from the top down. The top down is being absolutely concertinaed. The top down jobs are being concertinaed. I speak to hiring managers. I speak to people who have jobs with the government and all other areas. And it's been going on for such a long time now, whilst our government has been lying to us. And that is what I cannot stand. They've been lying and lying and lying to us. There are no jobs. I keep telling people. And yeah, so if you think you're safe in your job, please just check, because it's only going to get worse.
Analysts, auditors, consultants, that's who Amazon is letting go starting tonight at midnight. And why does this happen? Because Amazon has come to the conclusion that they can build out 1 or 2 or 3 AI LLMs, large language models, and in exchange, they can replace $250,000 salaries for 30,000 people. And not just salaries, dental, vision, 401ks, sick days, all the
So it's the salaries and the benefits. But when he was talking about building out LLMs, what they've been doing on so many of these platforms is they've been advertising jobs that possibly don't exist. People have been applying for those jobs. People have been asked. So from whether they're developers, whether they're analysts, whether they're managers, whatever, they've been asked to present how they would tackle certain issues, how they would look at their days, what they've done, what are the biggest achievements they've done, and break those achievements down bit by bit by bit. Who is it affected? Who is it benefited? What were your issues? What were your problems? Blah, blah, blah. Because these now go to the LLMs. The LLMs are actually looking at the information as data. Remember, data is most important. They're getting the data back from business analysts. They're getting the data back from program managers, from developers, from engineers, from C-suite people, and they're actually finding out what they did on those jobs, and they're saying to them, what was the benefits, what are the problems, what are the issues, who did you work with, blah, 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 blah. They are now able to map out those jobs, map out those positions, and they're now able to then put it into an AI. So this is what's happened, that the job advertisements have gone through the roof, and so many of these jobs don't even exist. But what they've done is they've taken the information back And I don't even know if it's legal or not, because they haven't told these people who are applying for the jobs that they're actually going to look at their data and use it as a training model and a training manual for their LLMs. This is disgusting what they've done. So they've used our information, our knowledge, our data, our experiences to build out their own large language models to make us redundant. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I've been saying this for month after month after month. I don't know what more to say. I really don't know what more to say.
Dental, vision, 401ks, sick days, all the complexities of life. Amazon can get away with all of that and just have LLMs do that work. And guys, the societal impact of this is enormous. What is going to happen? Think about what happened to Amazon's stock price today. It went up 2%. 2% on the news. They're laying off 30,000 people.
So that interview before with Tim Burton, I can't remember his surname, apologies on that, owner of that group, he was saying that employers need to make employees aware that the employers are in the driving seat and the employees should be lucky to have a position if they do keep the position. And this goes back to the 2008 crash, etc., where people were very annoyed that normal people were having good lives. And now austerity's kicked in for the last 20 odd years, and they're now making austerity bite even harder. It is going to be bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
Usually a company lays off people, it is the worst possible sign for a stock. But in this event, the stock went flying. Why? Because Wall Street noticed this is going to be amazing for Amazon's profit margin in the short term. In the short term,
it's the new target operator model. They are making money, more money with less.
Amazon is going to shed so much payroll and replace it with really inexpensive AI to do the same amount of work.
So the initial startup costs, setup costs for AI is going to be quite expensive, and potentially even the initial running costs. But when you get rid of the operating costs of your overheads and your staff and all the benefits, etc., it's going to make them absolutely incredible profits. So if you own these companies, I can understand when you look at a spreadsheet, but you're looking at real people's lives.
Replace it with really inexpensive AI to do the same amount of work. But guys, what happens? Seriously, what happens when 20 million people lose their jobs over the next few years? What happens if 10% of America is unemployed? What happened to people that were making $300,000 a year now can literally no longer afford to make their mortgage payment?
What's going to happen, guys, is they've already planned this. It's been in the plans for a long time. It's universal basic income. They're literally going to give people a stipend, pennies on the pound. They're going to work out how much does it cost, etc., for an okay life. Give them a few quid, let them dot around a bit, blah, blah, blah. But they don't understand that human beings were here on this earth to better themselves and to just make good of themselves. So a lot of people, their job is their life. A lot of people, their job is their life. So what that's going to do to their health, their mental well-being, I don't know. A lot of people are going to get very, very sick very, very quickly. So I don't know if they thought this through, but they think that by giving everyone a basic stipend, that is going to make up for not having a job, not having a sense of worth, not having a sense of being. Absolutely crazy. Remember, I keep telling people, please ask yourself the question, is your job safe? If your job's not safe, then you need to plan for your future because it's going to come hard. In the next 12 to 18 months, we are all going to suffer.
What happens if 10% of America is unemployed? What happened to people that were making $300,000 a year now can literally no longer afford to make their mortgage payment? Are we sure this is so good for the economy?
So I'm so sorry. This guy was Spencer Hakimian, and this is on the Forbes channel. So these people deal with the money markets. They deal with economy, finance, wealth, growth, and they're talking about the same effects of AI. What's the effect AI? On a monetary sense, it's going to be a great effect for businesses, a great effect on the stock market, but on a human impact, on a human level, the effect of AI and this new target operator model that they're putting into place is going to absolutely destroy human beings. So guys, please let me know down here in the comments section what you think. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Do you even care? And what, if anything, can you do to ensure that you guys are still in work and meaningful work? Because when this kicks in, my goodness, it's going to affect all of us. So please make sure you look after yourselves, you look after each other, you check your finances and you check your roles and your positions. Make sure you're safe, guys, because when this hits, it's going to hit like a brick. Trust me on that, it's going to hit like a brick. But look after yourselves, look after each other, and guys, I will see you at the next one.